What's up, Captastic ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode in this TCGO series. Today we are going to be playing around with Mismagius from the Breakthrough expansion. As always, if you want to skip the deck analysis, just click the annotation on the screen or skip to around the 4 or 5 minute mark and it will take you straight to the battles. So Mismagius over here has 90 HP and has the Twisted Incantation ability. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may have your opponent shuffle his or her hand into his or her deck. And this is where it got confusing for me, because it says, and draw a card for each of his or her remaining prize cards. So what I thought was that we get to draw a card for each of my opponent's remaining prize cards. But as it turns out, this means that we have our opponent draw a card for each of his or her remaining prize cards. So basically, this ability is like the supporter N, which is now in expanded format. Whenever we evolve from Misdraevus into this Mismagius, we are N-ing our opponent. So this can come in handy in the late game when our opponent has little prizes left, or even in the beginning if my opponent has a huge hand size for some reason, or we want to disrupt my opponent's hand. The Mismagius also has a attack. The Curse Deeply costs a double colorless and 1 psychic, does 60 as the base, and it has a nice effect which confuses the active Pokemon of my opponent. So that's pretty nice, potentially avoiding damage to our Mismagius if my opponent confuses and attacks itself for 30. We are going to try and build a deck around Mismagius today here. So we are going to have some fun with Mismagius. We are playing 3 copies of it, as well as 3 copies of the Misdraevus as the basic. And then we are running a 3-3-2 line of Zubat, Golbat and Crobat. We are playing this line because of Night March. Basically, Night March is very popular in the meta, and this Zubat, Golbat line and Crobat line is a very good counter against Night March. But the other reason, there is another reason. We are also playing it to increase our damage output, because Mismagius here does only 60. If we slap on a muscle band, of which we run 3 copies, then we are doing 80. So if we attack 80, then if we attack again in our next turn, that's 160. That is just 10 short of knocking out most EXs. So we need some additional damage to get this 2-turn knockout going. And that's where we are using the Zubat, Golbat and Crobat line as well. That's it for the Pokemon line. We are also running 2 Shamans for the setup ability, so which allows us to set up a bit easier at the start. And then we are running 8 Psychic Energies and 3 Colorless Energies, so double Colorless Energies. Even though we play the Dimension Valley Stadium, I opted to play these double Colorless Energies nonetheless, because we could potentially do a Sky Return if our Shaman is in the active spot, as well as I found it. Sometimes we, during testing, it was, I didn't have the Dimension Valley in play, and then it came in handy to have this double colorless and still be able to attack. So it's got some, it makes this deck a little bit more consistent, in my opinion. Then for the trainers, we are playing 2 Sycamores, 3 Birches, and that's it for the draw support. We have some Ultra Balls to get the Shamans for the draw support as well. But that's basically our draw support line, 3 Birches and 2 Sycamores. And then let's see what else we have. We have got 1 Bridget here, because we need to get out these Zubats and these Misdraevus as early as we can in the game. And we are running also 2 AZs and 4 Super Scoop Ups to scoop up the Zubat line here, so we can keep doing damage by evolving, doing Sneaky Bites and Surprise Bites. And that's about it. We are running some other cards as well, like a Level Ball or a Battle Compressor to discard supporters, get them back with Via Seekers, like the typical stuff you would expect in a deck. So I'm going to call this the end of the deck analysis, and I'm going to go straight into the battles. See you there. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe for more silly deck ideas like this. Here we go. It looks like we found ourselves our first opponent. It is Holier-Thanthru. Or something like that. What a long name. Wow, Jesus. He's calling the coin flip, and we lost the coin flip. So my opponent is probably going to go first. There we go. I forgot to take a look at the type of Pokemon my opponent is playing, but we will see soon enough. We start off with a Zubat. We have a pretty terrible hand. The only thing that's really useful for us is this Trainer's Mail. The Dimension Valley potentially, but no, don't really need to see it. Ooh, look at that. We are facing a Gengar deck. And as well, this is kind of a mirror match with the Zubats over here. Who can get the Zubats going first? My opponent, because he's going first, so my opponent will be able to evolve first into the Golbat. We have to watch out for that, so we will have to catch up here somehow. Hopefully we can get a good supporter from this Trainer's Mail, like a Professor Birch. Maybe a Ultra Ball for a Shaman or something like that. That would be really neat. My opponent does have an Ultra Ball himself. Discards a Skyla and a Crobat. And is going for a... Let's see what my opponent is going for. Another Zubat or maybe a Shaman. Another Ghastly. Okay, so my opponent surprised me there. Wow. Oh, he had the Shaman in his hand. That explains that. So even gets to draw in some more cards there. My opponent is having a blast of a first turn. So we will have to somehow try and match our opponent in this awesomeness that he is laying down on the field here. Even gets a rare candy, so we are going to possibly see a rare candy into the Gengar. That is really scary. We get a Lysander. Okay, we could Lysander out the Shaman to stall if we really need to. Let's see, we get, oh my goodness, we get nothing. Let's get this level ball. We get absolutely Bubkiss here. Oh wow, this is a really bad start. I'm going to go for a Zubat. I don't want to start with putting down this Misdraevus right now. Let's go for the Zubat here, and let's even put down a Muscle Band. Let's do that on the Zubat, and then let's Lysander out the Shaman. And let's see here. Let's see, what should we do? We will put down the... why not? We will put down the Dimension Valley. My opponent probably runs some as well, so we will put some damage on this Ghastly on the bench. I should have attached this Muscle Band to this Zubats on the bench here. My opponent has a Super Scoop Up and Tail, so that's really good. If we can stall our opponents, that's what we want here. We want to stall a little bit. We see the Gengar and the Hunter come out. Confuses us. We are not too worried. We can evolve into the Golbat. So we actually managed to evolve first here. That's kind of strange because my opponent had so much going for him. Let's see, where should we put some damage down? We will start putting some damage on these Zubats on the bench, and I will attach to the Zubat on the bench. No need to attach to this Golbat. And we will go for a Swoop Across. Start chipping away at my opponent's Pokemon. Next turn we will evolve into the Crobat. Put some 30 damage on the Zubat here and knock it out that way. So here we go. We evolve. Oh, and my opponent concedes the match. Are you kidding me? The card is stuck here in the evolve animation. I'm quite surprised here. Wow, why would my opponent concede the match? Because we were definitely not in a favorable position here, but somehow he pulled it off. So okay, so this was a very short match. I'm going to go and look for another match here. Let's see if we can find a more interesting match and a more I would say a fluent match where we get some things going for us. Where we can actually see the Misdraevus in action. Let's go for heads. And of course it's not heads. We are facing Husky 16. It's a little bit easier to pronounce than my previous opponent's name. We start up 3 VS Seekers. Wow, 3 VS Seekers. Terrible hand to start off again. My opponent's got a terrible hand as well. Although he had a Bridges, so could have used a Bridget. We do have a Bridget, so okay, I'm liking this hand a lot more than my hand in the previous match. I'm going to start with a Zubat, and I'm going to be playing the Bridget for sure here. Possibly go for a Shaman. My opponent keeps mulligan. We do see a enhanced hammer. We've got to watch out for the enhanced hammer. That can come down on us. Discard our DCE if we play down. Yes, I would like to draw into some more cards. The more cards, the better. Oh, we are facing an Ampharos EX. So this Ampharos is going to get powered up fairly quickly here. We are even weak to it, so we will have to watch out here. Let's see what we can do. We will go for a I want to look in my deck, see what kind of Pokemon we have, if we've got a Shaman in our deck. And so let's look at the Pokemon first. We've got two Golbats, two Crobats, 1, 2 Zubats. We do see 1 and 2 Misdraevus as well. So we've got a lot of things, even 2 Shamans. Let's see what else we have. We have some dimension values I already saw. 1 double colorless. And that's it. So we only have 1 double colorless. That's pretty bad. So we will have to get the stadium somehow. Let's go for the Shaman. And now let's go for the Bridget. So, we will definitely get a Zubat, and then a Misdraevus. That is fantastic. We will attach to the Misdraevus, and then we will use the level ball, get another Misdraevus. So wow, we are just filling up our bench here, and then we will get let's see, we will get the Mismagius for the next turn. And then we will play the Shaman down, draw into 3 more cards. Let's see what we get. We do get the double colorless in our deck, so okay, I'm going to end the turn here. And we are nearly ready. All that we need now is a stadium. And then we can switch into the Mismagius. And yeah, confuse these Ampharos in the active spot. So we are looking really good. Let's evolve this poor Zubat in the active spot. Start chipping away at these Ampharos. We will evolve into the Misdraevus here. No, I don't want my opponent to redraw his hand. We will attach the double colorless. And we will even try and scoop up. We do get a scoop up, so I will definitely use that. We will promote another Zubat. Evolve once more. Put some more damage counters on my opponent's Ampharos, and then we will put down the Zubat again and go for the Birch. Why not? So we are definitely putting a lot of pressure on my opponent right here. Let's see what we can get. We do get Tails, so okay, not too much here for us. We will retreat into the Misdraevus and curse my opponent so deeply. So there we go. My opponent is down to 70 HP. We do not have a muscle band on ourselves. Oh, my opponent manages to heal off. That is going to pose a problem for us, because now we need to get another. Oh my. So that's why, oh, look at that. My opponent got confused. That's why this effect of this confusion is so nice. It can stall us against my opponent's attacks, because we would have got knocked out there if my opponent managed to come through. We will evolve into the Crobat here. But my opponent did not heal off this Ampharos, so we will just knock it out here. I don't know why my opponent... That was a misplay from my opponent, I think, because he put down the stadium, so I thought we would see it get healed off, and then we would have needed at least another Golbat to put some more damage on it and knock it out that way after we would have cursed it deeply again. So there you go, we kind of took down that Ampharos deck really easily. Definitely going to look for another match here. Alrighty, and we are facing Philbo1393. I hope that's not his birth date. It would be, well, maybe I do hope that, because it would be really nice meeting someone from like the Middle Ages. We've managed to allow our opponent to go first once more here, so we are very generous with allowing our opponents to go first. We start off with a pretty good hand, although I don't want to see these Golbats here. I don't really want to discard them, but I think we will have to. Oh wow, we are in a pickle here already, because this Manectric EX just need a muscle band and it could knock out our Zubat, our poor Zubat. Let's see, we will play down the stadium, we will attach the muscle band, and we will go for the Sycamore. We will have to discard these Pokemon, as sad as that is, but that's the way it is here. Let's see what we can do here. We can Ultra Ball for the Shaman, I guess. Here we go. We've got a Shaman. Oh man, this is not really the best of starts. We do have 2 more stadiums. Let's see what we can draw from these 2 cards from this Shaman. Hopefully another basic. We do get a Misdraevus as well as a Bridget. That is really good. I will attach to the Misdraevus, and unfortunately this Zubat is going to get knocked out here if my opponent gets a muscle band, so we will go for a skill dive, and we will let's see here, we will put it onto the Manectric so that we can potentially knock it out with 2 hits of the Curse Deeply attack. If my opponent does not get a stadium to heal off that 30 damage, which is a very good possibility. So my opponent does need the... Oh, we see the Assault Laser. Yeah, I forgot. My opponent attached another energy. So there goes our poor Zubat into the discard pile together with the... to make a happy family with the Golbats that we already discarded. So this Golbat is of no use to us right now. We will get a Misdraevus, Mismagius. We are going to try and stall my opponent with the Curse Deeply attack. I don't want to use the N effect from the ability. I'm going to go for the Sycamore and hopefully draw into some more cards that way. Hopefully another energy. We do draw into another energy. We can even put down another Misdraevus. That's what I'm going to do here. Okay, so let's put down this Misdraevus. Let's attach to the one in the active spot. And I really want to dig for a muscle band. We failed to pick up the Shaman twice here, so we will go for the Curse Deeply. We really need that muscle band next turn so we can knock out this Manectric if we manage to stay alive. We should be able to without the muscle band attached, because this Manectric can do 80 maximum if we don't have a tool attached. So in one way it is good to not have attached that tool, because we can still knock out the Manectric. If we can get it next turn, then we can do 80 to it, which is just 170 in total. Would be just enough to knock it out. So basically it was actually a good thing that we didn't have a muscle band to attach. My opponent decides to retreat to Manectric. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Into the Magnemite, we are going to get hit for a lightning ball. Look at that, a lightning ball. Oh, we get a Zubat. Let's see. This Magnemite is no threat to us, so I am actually going to opt to Lysander out the Manectric. No, I don't want to reshuffle my opponent's hand. because my opponent seems to have a pretty terrible hand. We do as well. Look, we have no cards left. I'm going to go for another Curse Deeply, confusing my opponent once more. So if my opponent decides to attack now, he risks knocking himself out if he confuses, if the Manectric stays confused and decides to attack itself. So that's what I'm of course hoping for here. I would be kind of stupid to hope that it would not stay confused. And then we basically have the game in the bag, because this Magnemite, yeah, it's cute and all, but it doesn't do much. So, oh, we see a Dragonite come into play. That is a big deal. So my opponent can bust in with a Dragonite, but decides not to do so. And decides to power it up instead. Attaches an experience share, and my opponent knocks himself out just as we wanted. That is amazing. We get we get two prizes. I was about to say the first prizes, but that's not true. My opponent knocked out our Zubat. Oh, we draw into an AZ. That is very nice. I will definitely be using this AZ and AZ up the Shaman here. Just put it down again. Yes, I would like to draw into 6 cards. And here we have the Muscle Band. Oh, yeah, so it would have been nice if we could have used the Listener as well this turn, but we already used a supporter for the turn. So we are going to go for I was about to say a Golbat, but we discarded the Golbat. And I forgot to see if we have the Sacred Ash in our deck, so I will be attaching this Muscle Band to the Misdraevus on the bench and keep this. I might as well just play this level ball. See what else we have. Oh, we do have another Zubat, but that's not of much use if we don't have Golbats. So I'm actually going to leave that in my deck and play down this Shaman, trying to 3 more cards and see what. Oh, so we do get the Sacred Ash right here. That's what I was hoping for, and we will shuffle in these Golbats back into our deck, as well as these Zubats. Why not everything here? There we go. Back up to 20 cards, and that will be it. We are going to curse my opponent, knocking out the Magnemite, and we are down to half our prizes. Just like that, against a Manectric, Magnemite and Dragonite deck. So I don't expect my. Oh, look at that! Yeah, wow. Okay, so many. What do you call it? Concedes. So many. My opponents just keep conceding here. I was about to say that I don't expect my opponent to play a Dragon Energy in his deck. So yeah, another quite easy win there, I would say. Should we go for another match? That is the question. I think I will try and look for one, but if you don't see another match after this one, that means I decided to call it a day for today. So let's see here what will happen. And here is our last game of the day. We are facing Fraganassi with a Psychic Lightning, Metal and a colorless deck. Let's see if we can finally make use of the Misdraevus ability. Oh, we get to go first. So we get to go first in our final game of today. I would definitely like to go first here. And hopefully we can make use of the ability here at some point. We start off with a pretty good hand. I'm not sure if I want to use the Sycamore. Oh, look at that. We are facing a Night March deck. So I'm definitely going to go for a Zubat here. Put a Zubat down on our bench. And then I will actually I will scoop up let's see. No, I don't want to scoop it up. This Misdraevus is going to get knocked out though, so let's see, what should we do here? This is I'm going to have to discard this. I'm going to go for a I will discard this Misdraevus and this AZ, and I will go for the another Misdraevus here. Put it down on my bench, and then attach the double colorless, and we will discard this psychic energy, and then we draw into 7 more cards. Hopefully get another Zubat or something. We miss out on the Zubat. We do have a Trainer's Mail. Maybe we can get a Ultra Ball or a Level Ball. We don't get an Ultra Ball or a Level Ball. I am actually going to opt to go for the let's see here, the Battle Compressor, because we have a double colorless attached to the Misdraevus, so we don't need to see the stadium immediately, and it could also help my opponent if you put down the stadium for the Pumpkaboo. We are going to discard the Lysander as well as a AZ, and then let's see what else we can discard. We do have a Golbat there, another Golbat. Where are our Zubats? Oh, so there's 1 Zubat and 2 Zubats. What else should we discard? Do we have a Bridget? No, we don't. So we are going to leave it at those 2 supporters. And then we will... is it worth putting down the Shaman? And I don't feel like it's worth it. So we are going to end our turn here. We'll probably get knocked out here in our Mismagius in the extra spot. I don't see it not getting knocked out against this Nightmare deck. So we see the Dimension Valley come down. No need for us to have to go for it with the Trainer's Mail that we got earlier. And my opponent starts Battle Compressing away, starts filling up the discard pile with Lampens right now. Lampens and Pumpkaboos and whatnot. And so this Zubat is very valuable for us here to keep up with this Nightmare deck. We see the 3 Lampens hit the discard pile. That's already enough to knock out this Misdraevus in the active spot. Next turn, however, we should be able to evolve or get this Misdraevus to evolve into a Mismagius. But I think I will promote the Zubat nonetheless. We do have a Sycamore, so we should be able to get a Golbat in some way, and then we have 3 retreats for these Golbats. Can retreat into the Misdraevus here. What did my opponent play? The Trainer's Mail, goes for an Ultra Ball, discards Dimension Valley. That's pretty smart, as well as a Revive. Okay, so my opponent does play Revives, which allows him to get back some of his Pokemon from discard pile. Oh, please put that down. Please put that Joltik down. Oh, please put it down, please. That is such easy bait for us. I want to see that Joltik come down on the bench so we can snipe it with our Crobat here at some point. That would be magnificent. I hope my opponent plays it down, but it does not seem like it. Battle compresses some more. Probably going to battle compress the other Joltiks as well as a Pumpkaboo. So he's got 2 more Joltiks as well as the Pumpkaboo, unless some are prized. Yeah, so that's what I'm expecting to see. Let's see, we see 2 Pumpkaboos, and that is all. My opponent only compressed 2. Oh, and there goes the other Joltiks and another Pumpkaboo. That means my opponent only has 1 Pumpkaboo left in his deck and 1 Joltik, and then there is the Pumpkaboo. It comes down on the bench. Even discards another Revive here. My opponent needs to be careful here because he needs a fair amount of Night Marches to keep knocking out our Pokemon. Do we see the DCE so my opponent can attack? I have not seen the DCE drop yet. We are still waiting on the drop. Where is the drop? So what is my opponent doing right now? Oh, so he goes for the VS Seeker. He did not play any supporter yet, I think. Goes for the Sycamore. Unless I missed out on that. Yeah, he did play the Sycamore then. And we get a Scoop Up. The Scoop Up is not of much use to us. We managed to stay alive somehow. That's kind of weird. this double color is just not much use for us right now. This is kind of... What do we do here? I want to keep the energy attachment for later, because I want to attack with this Misdraevus. I'm going to have to discard my entire hand, I think. I'll go for the Super Scoop Up if I'm going to discard. Just so I can maybe put down this Shaman, but no, that's just bait for my opponent, so I'm just going to discard my hand. Don't want to put down some bait for my opponent, and see what else we can get here. We do have a Zubat, that's pretty good. I will play down this Zubat, and I will actually let's see here. I will put it on this Joltik so we can knock it out this turn with the Misdraevus in the active spot. We are going to attack with this Misdraevus, funny as that sounds, or as that may seem. Let's see what we have in your discard pile. A Mismagius and a Crobat. I'd say let's go ahead and use the Sacred Ash, get these back, as well as the Shaman then, because we have to. The next turn we might put down the... Oh, actually I'll do that now, because we do draw into 4 cards, so I'd rather draw into 4 cards than... yeah, the 4 cards to get is... it's more advantageous for us than to keep it in our hand. But we drew into very bad cards here, so I'm going to attack with the Hound and knock out the Joltik. That way, hopefully we can get something good from our prizes, but no, we don't. We miss out. Oh, that's not good here. We are in a bit of a pickle right now. We didn't get anything on our bench. I really wanted some more Zubats, but we drew into cards that we don't really need. And my opponent just needs the DCE, which he is going to get with his teammates. And we cannot knock out this Pumpkaboo next turn. We cannot do that because we only have 30 from the Golbat and then 20 from the Misdraevus. Because I don't think the Muscle Band enhances this damage. So, yeah. Is my opponent going to Lysander out the Shaman here? No, he just Night Marches for a 180 damage. That is way too much. 60 was more than enough, but oh well. Let's go for the Golbat here. Oh no, we can knock it out because we... what am I saying? Just ignore me. We evolve into the Crobat, put 30 on the Pumpkaboo, and then we do the Skill Dive. I completely forgot about the Skill Dive over here. So yeah, we are definitely going to knock out my opponent. And we even got the Misdraevus as a top deck, so we can knock it out in as many ways as we want. I will evolve here. And I'll actually not want to... Oh, well, yeah, let's use the ability. Why not? We can finally use it. Give our opponent a little less cards in his hand. So hopefully that kind of disrupts my opponent here. And we will attach to the Mismagius on the bench. Then Bell Compress. See if we can Bell Compress something. Probably not. What don't we want to see? Don't really want to see the Shaman. And that's it. So I will discard the Shaman. And we will go for the Skill Dive. Knock out this Pumpkaboo. And just like that, my opponent does not have any attackers. And that's why these bats are so damn good in this deck. Now we get a Bridget. So now we can put down some more bats. It's a little too late, but still we managed to pull through here. And our opponent concedes the match. So another very, very short match. Yeah, I don't know, maybe this deck is just very competitive because all my opponents just keep conceding. Probably not. This deck is not very competitive at all. It's a fun deck to play. It's a fun deck to play. Sadly, there was so many concedes that we did not get to see any of the advantages of the ability of Mismagius here. So yeah, because my opponents just conceded too early. So there was no late game to end my opponent with the ability, but oh well, we still won against Night March, so that's something. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more silly decks like this. I hope you have a Karptastic day, and I will see you next time.
Karp, 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 Karp.